Okay, so in this tutorial we're going to be creating a form that allows us to send an SMS message via PHP through a gateway to a mobile phone or a cell phone. To do this, we're going to first need to register with a gateway that allows us to send text messages. Now, what I mean by this is something like this website here. It's called textlocal.co.uk with text spelled TXT. Now, if you go ahead to textlocal.co.uk, what you want to do is you want to click sign up for free. Follow the registration process, sign up, and once you are registered, you'll be presented with a control panel such as this. Now, you get 10 free credits, which means you're going to be able to send 10 free text messages. After that, you will have to buy credits, but they are relatively cheap, and you don't necessarily have to use this gateway. You can choose to register with another gateway that could allow you to send more free text messages or might be a bit cheaper, but I've chosen to use Text Local because it's really good value for money, and I just found it easier to register. I'm in no way affiliated with them, I just found this one and it was easy to use. Okay, so I've got 6 credits left. I've already used 4 of them in the testing process before this tutorial. You can see that you can just automatically click send messages. You're allowed to send a message directly from the website, but we're going to be using the API that allows us to send it via PHP. Now, to find out these settings, you need to simply go to documentation, and what you'll be provided with is a list of variables that you'll need to send from this page here. So after this, you'll need to send all these post variables. You can use get variables, but I'm going to be using post. You're going to need to add them afterwards. Now we're going to be doing this inside PHP using curl. And the reason we're using curl is it's a lot more secure than just submitting a form with these variables in, which we could well do, but obviously then people are going to find out our password and username, things like that. So this is what the form's going to look like. In the first part of the tutorial, we're going to be simply creating the form. We're not going to be doing any of the programming behind in PHP. So we're just going to be creating this form so we know what we're doing. So hopefully so far you understand how this is going to work. Obviously if you don't, just keep following the tutorial and you should get the hang of it. So if I go over to my page here, I've just created a page called sms.php. Now you might notice that I'm running this on my paid web hosting. The reason I'm doing this is because curl is currently installed. I don't currently have curl installed on my local host on the software that I'm running on my computer. So either download a package such as XAMPP that has curl with it, or run it from your paid hosting. But that's the reason I'm running it from paid hosting. Now we're obviously going to need to create a form, so I'm just going to start out. I'm not going to worry about any other tags or anything like that. The form action is going to be itself, because we're going to submit back to this form and deal with the results in PHP. Sorry, inside our PHP tags. So the method here is going to be post, and the first thing we want it to say, let's just save this quickly and back to there, and let's refresh this. Okay, so we've got a blank page at the moment. Okay, so inside here we're going to need the number. So we'll say number, we'll break down. The first thing we need is the area code of the mobile phone. In the UK that's 44. So I'm going to put an input type in here, and the type is text, the size is 2, and I'm going to put a dash between that for the rest of the phone number. The name of this is going to be called number ext for the extension. I'm going to create another input field, and that's going to be text again, and the name of this is number, and that's just going to be regular size, so I'm not going to alter the size of that. So I'm going to come down here and do 2 breaks. Let's just save the changes, see what we've come up with, and then we can get on with the rest of this form. Let's cancel that. Okay, so yeah, we've got number and we've got the extension and the main part of the number there. We broke down, and I'm going to say sender. and this is going to be the text that's displayed when the user receives the message. So input type equals, again, text, and the name of this is just from. Let's break down a bit more. Now we need the message spelled correctly, and this is going to be a text area, so it's just basic HTML, and the name of this is message. Okay, now we need to come down here and we need to put in a submit button. The name of that is just submit, and the value is going to be send. Now we need a hidden field that we can use to check if the form has been submitted. So input type equals hidden, name equals submitted, and value equals true. So if we save that and refresh that, again we're coming up with this message. Refresh that, we see we've got just need to break down there a bit. So after this, break down. Okay, so you can see that we've got the number. We can type 44 here, that's for the UK. We can type the number that we want to send the message to here. The sender can be something like PHP Academy, and the message can be whatever you want, as long as it falls in the guidelines of text messages. I think there's probably a maximum length that you can send, but obviously you can put the form validation in afterwards. Obviously this is a text field, but you're going to need to check that it's numeric. I'm not going to cover this in this tutorial, but using my other tutorials you should learn how to do that, or you can use the PHP manual, Google for it, something like that. Okay, so we've got our basic form. On clicking send, this obviously will send the text message. At the moment all it's done is resubmitted the information back to this sms.php page. What we need to do in the next part of this tutorial is we need to create some code in this PHP area that's going to take use of the APIs of TXT local. Using TXT local, we're going to submit the variables that we need that I showed you just here. These ones just here, it's like the message, things like that. We're going to submit them to this page here. We need to use our account information to do that, obviously the username and the password, and then that will allow us to send a message through TXT local via PHP. So that will come in the next part of this tutorial, when we learn how to complete this.